everyone. It's Tim from Geek Branch. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about Disney Plus since it's uh, everywhere on social media. You see everyone watching it or talking about it, whether it's about The Mandalorian or all the nostalgia filled memories that everyone's having from the old shows that's on there. And I just wanted to tell you about my experience with it so far. Disney Plus has probably been the most anticipated streaming service of all the new and upcoming streaming services that are entering the streaming wars since this year and this soon to be upcoming year. That includes the Apple Plus streaming service that just came out. I really haven't heard very many people talk about that very much. It also includes Peacock, which is NBC Universal's streaming service they're coming out with next year, and then also HBO Max. HBO Max has a lot that it's going to offer when it comes out, but I think that the price of $15 a month is having a lot of people kind of wary of starting another streaming service that's already essentially more expensive and just as expensive depending on what version of Netflix you get. So with Disney Plus, Disney has been a source for many generations for their childhood and their memories of growing up with particular animated movies, whether you were someone from the Bambi era or the Aladdin era. Even to today's kids who grew up with the MCU. I was a teenager when Iron Man came out and been following all the MCU movies since. Of course, Iron Man 1 wasn't part of Disney yet, but now, after a few of the MCU movies, of course, Disney bought Marvel out. And so everyone associates the MCU with Disney, of course, now. So a lot of kids have grown up with those movies, so they have a lot of memories with that. Disney has been a mainstay in many people's homes and mine for many decades. So, of course, when they announced their service, many were excited at the prospect of being able to see all those classic films when they were kids and to let their kids get to enjoy the films that that the kids' parents know and love, to allow them to see that movie that they remember from when they were a kid, to allow their kid to experience that just as they did is a bonding experience for many families. Also, for kids that grew up during the era that live action Disney Channel shows actually competed with the animation offerings from Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, whether it was Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, or even Stevens. It also has some of the great late 80s and early 90s animated series, such as Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers or Gargoyles. Or if you're a weirdo like me who was excited that they had the Mighty Ducks animated series at launch, yes, I was that kid that had all their action figures and their premiere movie on VHS. Oh man, I tell you, it was such a fun experience being a kid in the 90s. It's so different from kids, unfortunately. Now, it was a blast. So with the app itself, it has a sleek and simple design. There are a few things, though, I would love to see them improve on, such as maybe a recently watched section or continuing to watch section instead of having to go to my watch list or look up the movie or series I have started on. I saw in recent news that they're actually planning on putting that back on the app. Apparently, it was on it during beta, I guess. I didn't see it during the launch, but apparently it was there once upon a time. Also, a weird choice they have made is to show movies, and when you click on some of them, you assume it's available to watch, right? But when you click on it, you find out that it's not available until a certain date. So I clicked on Sky High, and I thought it would. I heard from news it wasn't going to be at release, and then I saw it on the app, and I was excited. I was like, "Oh, cool! I can see Sky High." And then I clicked on it, and it says this movie will not be out until this date. Which, I don't know why they they did that. I assume they did this to make their library seem bigger than it really is at launch. But most people understand some of their titles are still under contract with other companies such as Netflix and various cable networks like Stars. But I guess they just wanted to, I guess, seem like I said, a bigger launch for some of these news sites to drum up the service better, to make it look better. The app seems to serve as more of a companion service with Hulu until it grows into the beast that we all know it will be. We know Disney. We know that it'll become much bigger than what it is now. But that's why it makes sense that they decided to do a bundle package. A lot of people know for $12.99 a month, they can get Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. And that's a really good deal. I think with Hulu with no ads is like $11.99, I want to say, something like that. So it's a really good deal. The offerings they do have for Disney Plus are large enough of a library for a company just launching their service. I mean, it has quite a bit of content, especially for something that just launched. I have a lot of shows on that list from my childhood I want to watch. There's some new stuff. There's not a lot of new stuff they have on their service quite yet, but what I've watched, I've enjoyed. Speaking of that, at least its offerings aren't as sparse and as small as Apple Plus. Speaking of that, both services offer a small number of originals for their respective service, and I feel like Disney Plus has the upper hand in this regard for two reasons. One, everybody knows that they're working hard on Marvel MCU original series for the app. It's not out yet, but everybody knows it's coming. But the other thing is they had an extremely strong response to Mandalorian with the premiere of Disney Plus. It was always their flagship series. They always Disney made sure to hype up the series, and sometimes for companies when they try to make one series this big, flagship thing for their service, sometimes that can backfire on a company. And it was a big risk for them, considering many have said that the general public has what's called Star Wars fatigue. And many hardcore Star Wars fans have felt burned by the company since Disney bought Star Wars. I know I have felt burnt by them. A lot of their content that they've made has not been up to par, but Disney has seemed to pull off the impossible. And they made a show that both general consumers and devout Star Wars fans alike seem truly excited for, whether it's because of the spoiler alerts for people who haven't watched Mandalorian, but the Baby Yoda memes, or the people that just love the rich lore that seems to be a part of this show. I myself really love the underworld side of the Star Wars universe. So to see them flesh that out more in a canon focused storyline, side storyline, it's really great. And with the Baby Yoda, there's a lot of questions yet unanswered with that. Sometimes it seems though all it takes is one series to make a streaming service worth the price tag. And Disney has found that series along with all of its other nostalgia-driven offerings. I have spoken. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for listening. And thank you for letting me get to the root of my geek culture with you.